Stepney's visit to the Fat Controller's railway was coming to an end.
"We shall miss you,"
said the Fat Controller. Then he turned his attention to all the other engines.
"My railway is very busy and I'm pleased with you all. But you need help. A diesel is all that is available. Please do your best to avoid any disturbances."
"What does that mean?" whispered Duck. "That means this diesel is difficult," snapped James. And he was. The diesel surveyed the shed. "Not bad, I've seen worse. At least you're all clean." The engines glared. "It's not your fault, but the Fat Controller should scrap you and get engines like me. A fill of oil, a touch on the starter, and I'm off. No bother, no waiting. They'll have to fuss around you for hours before you're ready." The engines were furious. Next morning they held an indignation meeting around the turntable.
"Disgraceful,"
muttered Gordon.
"Disgusting,"
said James.
"Despicable,"
spluttered Henry.
"To say such things to us,"
cried Donald and Douglas.
"is to teach him a lesson we be wanting. But how do we do it?"
Later that night, Donald and Douglas were still trying to think of ways to pay the diesel out.
Convince the trucks to crash him? Too far. Get Bill and Ben to tease him? Not far enough.
Just then, Douglas saw the diesel backing down into the carriage shed. "Hold your wee Stoney! Look!" The twins looked over and listened to the diesel talking to someone. "Well, 261, your air intake seems to be having a bit of trouble again. I'll fix it before I go home."
"Oh, great. What's it sucked in now?"
"Looks like it's a few leaves. Nothing big. I'll just clear it out real quick."
"Oh, that's good. I couldn't stand breaking down in front of these kettles because of it."
This gave the twins an idea. "We'll do it tomorrow." Next day, the diesel was getting ready to pull the express. The twins were on the lines next to him, taking on coal and water. They made sure to make as much steam as they could. The diesel was purring comfortably. An inspector watched her fitter making final adjustments. The wind tugged at the inspector's hat. The diesel was ready.
"Look at me, Duck and Stepney. Now I'll show you something."
He rolled proudly towards his coaches. Then it happened. Shaking and spluttering, the diesel stopped. Meanwhile, the inspector was looking for his hat. The diesel seethed with fury as Duck and Stepney pushed him back to the shed.
"My hat!"
exclaimed the inspector.
"You've sucked it through your air intake."
"Bother your hat,"
said the Fat Controller.
"The heavy train's due out. You'll have to take it, Duck. Stepney, will you help, please?"
"Oh, thank you, sir,"
cried Stepney.
"I'd like a good long run on my last day."
The engines were soon ready.
"Gordon will take over from halfway, so get the train there. Good luck."
"Don't worry,"
smiled Stepney.
"We'll get there, and be early too."
The cavalcade moved carefully over the rails and out to the open line. "Now for a sprint," puffed Stepney.
"I'm ready when you are,"
replied Duck. Soon they were whizzing through Edward Station. And next, they charged at Gordon's Hill beyond. They felt the drag of the heavy coaches here. It was hard work. At last, they were running smoothly along the line towards the big station.
"Hello, you're early,"
said Gordon.
"That's one in the headlamp throw diesel.
James says he's sick as boiler surgeon sulking in the shed."
Serves him right for saying we're out of date."
And Gordon chortled away. Next day, everyone came to say goodbye to Stepney.
"Come back and see us soon,"
whistled the engines.
"And you're always welcome on my Bluebell Railway too,"
replied Stepney. Then he puffed away. What about Diesel? He slipped out when no one was looking, but he left two things behind: a rather nasty smell and a battered bowler hat.